Hello everybody and welcome to this new Bazinga review. Today we'll carry on the work we've done last week with unboxing of the game Heroes of Normandy. Here is the box again. Um, the review has a plan which is quite simple. First we'll go through the different mechanism and see how the game plays out, and then we'll see. I'll get back and give my advice and some kind of review of the game. I'm trying to speak as slowly as possible so everyone is able to follow and understand my French accent and bad English. So I hope you enjoy it, and I see you later for the advice. First, when you decide to play a game of Heroes of Normandy, you have two choices. The first is to use a pre-made scenario. You have quite a few in the scenario rulebook in the game. This is the PDF version. I don't have any paper version. So on this one you can see that there are many units. It's one of the last ones, so it's quite large. You have other units on both sides and the map, which is a big one with 6 tiles, and so you set them up this way, and the scenario has a few special rules explained later, and that's all. So you just go with the scenario. I think that the publisher will allow the gamer to add their own scenario, so anyone can play them and share them on the website. So I think very quickly there will be a lot of scenarios to be played right out of the box. And you have the second option, which is the free fights, and this is a pawn buy system. So you have a table at the bottom. It's in French, but I guess you can understand what it means. Here you have the target length of the game in time, so you can see how much time you have to have the game, and you can fine tune the number of points you will be using in each army, the number of tiles you can use to have a play area which is of the right side, no too big, no too small in any way, and another numbers where you can fine tune the options and the victory points needed to win the game. So this is very simple. With this table, you know how much points you have to spend to build your army. And then this is how the army works. In this example, we have one unit, and when you buy it, it's a bit dark. Yeah, it's better. So you have this unit, this rifle platoon, which costs 70 points, and for 70 points you have all those 4 units attached to this platoon. There you have 3 dead units, so it means that when you lose more than 3 counters in this unit, your opponent will score 7 victory points. So this is the break point of the whole unit. 3 counters out of 4. And you see that you have 4 holes, of different sizes, where you can buy options, and options cost you more. So these are the 4 tokens, counters you get for buying this one. And then you can add options, provided they fit the size of the hole. You see that there are mainly two different sizes, and provided that the border of the hole matches one of the border of the counter. So this one, it is a large square, and the colors needed are yellow and white, and the black striped battle green here. So you can see that this one doesn't fit in the hole, but this one does, and it was, you only need one side. In this case, both sides match, but one is okay. One is enough. Like so. You have one, it's okay. So on all those units, you can see on this one gives you 3 more counters and adds 2 to the break value of the hole. So now it takes 5 units to be killed to score 7 points. 7 victory points. And here are other units. So this one is a vehicle. For 25 more and 1 breakpoint, you have this one. So this is the tire used here in the unit tile, but the counter on the battlefield is this one. So it works as a pair. And so this is a vehicle, and it costs 25 and gives you 1 breakpoint. And for instance, this is another squad, 55 points, 2 breakpoints, and there you have 3 tokens, 3 counters. And it gives you 1 star, and we'll see later that the stars are associated with the order tokens, order tiles. So the more stars you have, the more ability to act you have in the game. So in the tiles, in the holes, you can add either units or options, because it doesn't give you any more units or breakpoints, but it gives you an option. This one gives you 3 rifle grenade tokens for 10 points, and you have many options that are not units exactly. I'll show you a few ones. So, this one. For 5, you have 3 grenades. So, every time you have to match one of the borders. This one. So this one, as you can see, can be used anywhere in this tile because the border match nothing. But if the main tile would allow to fit in, it's 10 points, and it's a planning tile which gives you 1 extra star, so 1 extra order tile in your order. And then 2 others, ammunitions and veteran tokens. These are the veterans allow you to spend one of the 3 tokens, so you can relinch and relinch a die. And this one is ammunitions, and you have extra firepower when you use them, because you have so much ammunition that you can go and in the shooting spree. So here you are. So this is the main idea of the game regarding the point build mechanism. You buy tiles and you buy options, provided they fit in the spots of the main tile, and you take the corresponding counters that you use on the battlefield. So it's very simple. Then you can also, buy heroes. The heroes cost you, this one 55, but they don't fit anywhere. They are pure add-ons to your army. So this one, Oddball, is in fact a special character with a shaman. But some others are only officers and special heroes, and they have a smaller counter. The final step is to build the battlefield with a number of tiles, of terrain tiles, that you can find in the table, and you build out of the 80 cards of your army. You choose at least 40, and you make your own deck. So there's a building dimensions that is not very often used in war games or skirmish games. Usually people have a fixed deck and they have no choice about the details of what happens, but this one is different. You have the cards, and the only limit is that you have a number for multiples cards, and you don't you can't use more than the maximum that is allowed for the cards. So that's all. Buy your army, make the battlefield with the corresponding number of terrain tiles, choose at least 40 cards for your deck, and draw the four first one cards, and you're good to go. So let's get inside the game and see the details on the counter. Here we are with a few counters, and I'll explain to you what all the number mean. So we have a common framework of colors and of shapes for the information. So everything you need to use the counter, the unit, is written on the counter itself. So this one is an officer because you have a yellow line around it. Heavy weapons have a red line around it. You have the unit itself, the name. The blue arrow is the movement capacity. So this is 4 square. The yellow-orange color is used for infantry. So the upward arrow is attack and downward arrow is defense. So this is an infantry unit. It has +2 against other infantry units, and its defense value as an infantry unit is 6. Purple is the color of the light vehicles, so it has +1 against light vehicles, and the gray color is for the armored vehicles, so the X means it's impossible to attack. So I repeat, the color is the type of target: infantry, light vehicle, heavy vehicle, and the upward arrow shape is the attack, downward arrow, defense. The right border is filled with special abilities. I won't go into details because there are lots of different capabilities for the units. And the skull with the rotating arrows mean that this unit has a damage step. So if it takes 1 damage, you flip the counter and they use it on the other side. And this time you have a skull, meaning that if the unit is hit, it is destroyed. The name is now in red, showing that it's the last step of the unit. Solo units like officers or heroes have a smaller counter, and the multi-man units have larger counters. This time you can see that the information are the same all around, and the special ability are different, but you can see that the current use of the picks, so you can understand that it's really easy to know what a unit can do without referring to the rules or some reference sheet, except maybe at the beginning for the special abilities. But they are very straightforward. Yeah, there. For example, you can see that this one can be flipped to be hidden. So if I flip, you can see that this is effectively a hidden unit. You can see that this one doesn't have a damage step, so it's directly a skull. So if it is a very fragile unit, but you can see there that it doesn't have any bonus because it's a bazooka against infantry, but against vehicle is very effective, and both kind of vehicles. You can see there, this one means that the range is limited to 7 squares, and there are also different meaning for the rest. This one means that the unit can assault, and this one is also different. You can see that you have a tripod, and the rotary arrows means that you have a different effect when you flip it. So this one doesn't have a damage step, as you can see. There, it's with the unit in fire position, so it can't move, but it can attack. It doesn't have a move stat, but it has an attack stack. And if you flip it, this is the same. It has a skull, so if it's hit, it dies. But there, it can move, but can't attack. So it's the two states of the machine gun on the same counter. Here it is for the ground unit counter for the infantry, and if you take a look at the vehicles, there we have heavy armor vehicles. You can see that the defense values are heavy vehicles because it's downward arrow and gray, heavy vehicle, but you have a different value for each side. So if you flank or rear attack those units, the defense value is lower. You have the movement value, you have the main weapon. The main weapon is shown with a red border, and the secondary weapon is shown with a yellow border, but you have the stats are the same everywhere. So it's exactly the same. You have different special abilities for the weapons, but it works the same. And the last kind is the light vehicles. So the light vehicle only have one defense value like infantry, but of a different color, so you have to use the purple attack value to attack them. It can't attack armored vehicle, and it can attack infantry. The value for the movement, and it can take 1 damage before being turned to a wreck, because since it has 1 damage step but it can be turned to a wreck, you don't have a damage side. it's the rec side. So with new information, this one means that it's forbidden for infantry and light vehicle, this square, because the rec impedes movement. It has a 1 destroy value to finish the destruction of the wreck and clear the square. And this one, the triangle, means that the wreck blocks the line of sight. So you have now a very good understanding of the counters. Let's see how combat works and movement works. Now I'm going to show you how the game works. So after you have selected your army, you've built your army and made your 40 card deck, you draw 4 cards, and then you can play your turn. Each player plays its turn, and then the opponent so it's a I go you go mechanic, and nothing is done at the same time. Every player plays when it's his turn only. So all the cards themselves are very simple. You have in red the condition to use the card that must be met, and the game text. You have there the number of similar card in the deck. So this one exists in three cards called surprise. So this is very simple. You can play your cards when the conditions are met, and at the end of your turn you can discard as much card as you want, and then you will refill to 4. So the system encourages you to play as much cards as you can, because you can take advantage of the effects. So the game turn of a player is divided into 3 phases. The first is the order phase. So to determine how much order tiles you have, you count the stars of all your unit tiles. In this case we have 3, for instance. Then you pick at the beginning of the game the tiles numbered to the number of stars you have. So I pick 1, 2, 3. You begin with 1 and then you go increasingly, and you add a blank tile, which will be a bluff tile, and so this one is to mess with your opponent, and you place it, but at resolution time, you won't use it. So it's to add some kind of fog of war. So when you have chosen the number of tiles you will use for the game, you pick and you put them face down on the unit you want to activate later in your turn. This way, for example. You have deployed your units in the first 2 first rows of the map, and then you can, when you're finished, you can use the tile and activate the units that were chosen with the order tiles. So the second phase, the action phase, you will activate in ascending order the tiles. So the first one. So this one will be activated. What does activate mean? It means that this time, this counter can move and assault,
or fire. Simple as that. Move and assault or fire. You don't have to assault because only some units have the assault ability, like this one. The dagger is the assault ability. If a unit doesn't have it, it can't assault. Assault meaning ending its movement in the same square as an opponent. So in this case, I would activate this one first, and then the second one. You keep the tile, the other tile, on the unit to know that they have been chosen and activated. This one is the blank one, and the third is shown in the end. So you go one by one. You don't turn all three, so you can use it in the increasing order. Then it's the end. When you have done your activation, it's the third phase where you can move and only move the units, the counters that didn't have an order tile. So what the order tile mean is that this unit can move an assault or shoot. It means that the chosen unit is given a combat ability. A unit without tile will only move and not combat. So this is the main difference between the meaning of the order tiles. And when all the units have been chosen or not to move or fire, you can discard the card you don't want in your hand, and later you will draw up to 4. So let's see how the unit move. Now let's take a look at movement and assault. This is very simple. Now we have 3 order tiles here, and we are going to attack this position. Movement is very simple. You look at the number in the blue arrow, and this is the number of squares that you can move. So here we have 3, and you can move diagonally. So 1, 2, 3. Since we have the dagger icon here, show you. It means that this counter can assault, so end its movement inside an enemy square. This one is a jeep, so it moves very fast, 7 squares, and you can eventually use cards. This one adds 2, so this would be 9. 9 is a lot, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. For big armored units that occupy 2 squares, movement works the same. This one, the Sherman, has 4, and it moves that way, square by square, and you can rotate the unit. If you want to move on the same square and rotate every 45 degree rotation costs 1 movement, so this one would be 1, 2, and then you can move if you want to. You have here pictograms. This one explains that the woods here isn't allowed to vehicles light or heavy. The colors are light and heavy, and the cross, the X, in the blue arrow indicates that one unit that can enter this one, like infantry, must end its movement on the first square of woods. So you can't, even if you have many points left, you can't move any longer. You have to stop in the first square. You have other movement like this one. This one, as I said, you can move diagonally, but you can't use diagonal movement when you have this pictogram, so you can't cross that way. So this is quite simple for the movement. You just read the number in the blue arrow and you're good to go. Then I'll show you how assault works. Assault, to make an assault, the attacking unit must have the dagger picture, special ability, and to assault. So they end up in the same square, and now there will be an assault resolution in this square. It's very simple. The attacking unit rolls 2 dice and keeps the best of the two. The defending unit rolls 1 dice or 2 dice if they have an assault ability themselves. So since the Germans also have one, they would roll 2 dice and keep the best 2. You add for each unit, you add the attacking infantry value. It's +2 for both, so it doesn't affect the difference. And each player can play cards if they have some. For instance, this one, assault. When you are assaulting, you add 2 to your die roll. There is also something right there to note. There you have a +2 for infantry because of the terrain for the defender. So in this case, the card would cancel the advantage. So in the end, it would be 2 die roll and keep the best for both. In this case, we keep the 4, we keep the 3. The German would win. So what happens at the resolution? The German would win. They are the defender. So what happens? The attacker takes one step of loss. This unit can afford 1 loss, so you return it, and it goes in the last square they came from. So it's pushed back. If the attacking unit has only 1 damage step, it is destroyed in this case. But this one has 2 damage steps, so it's damaged and pushed. If the attacker wins, if the American wins, the German, the defender, takes 1 damage step. Also, this one can stay because it has 2 damage steps, and is pushed back in one of the 3 opposing squares, opposing square from the direction where the attacker came from. So this would be one of those 3. Remember that there are zones of control, so this unit would control everything here, all the 8 squares around it, and thus it would avoid the return of this unit, and it would destroy it because it can't safely fall back in one of the three squares that are in the control zone of the jeep behind. So we've seen when the attacker wins, when the defender wins. In case of a tie, nobody takes damage. The defender stays where it is, and the attacker just stays in the last square it was in before reaching the opponent. So in this case, it is quite exposed right in front of the Germans, who can counterattack and fire next turn. So that's roughly how movement and assault work. Both are linked because assault is a consequence of movement when you end up in the square of your opponent. So now we can see how fire and fire attack work. Now we are going to take a look at the last thing missing in the system, the fire attacks. So when you have your orders and you have an order tag on a unit, you can choose either to move and eventually assault or fire. So in this case, we'll look at how it works. The first thing to consider is to check the line of sight. The line of sight is the line between the center of the attacker and the center of the defender. In this case, imagine the Americans are shooting at the Germans. So you can use a rubber band on the trick. You can see that it's free, no obstacle, so you can shoot. This one works too. In the case of the German being there behind the trees, you can see that this one, the trees block line of sight. So if you make the same thing, you can see it crosses the blocking obstacle, so you can shoot. It doesn't work in this case. If the line just goes right on the side, on the corner of a blocking square, it's not blocked. Also, another case, when you have armored units like tanks that take two squares. No, I make something easier to understand. German infantry and American tank. The attacker can't, but because of the X. But if this is another unit that can attack, you choose between the center of the two squares. So this one or this one. As you can see, if you choose this center, the line crosses the top border with an 8 defense value. And if you choose the other one, there, this is this border with a 7 defense value that works. So you have the choice, you choose whichever is the best in the case, whether you are the attacker or the defender. So you can play and see with the one you want to benefit from. Once you have chosen the line of sight and checked that the line of sight is clear, you roll for attack. The roll is very simple. The attacker roll one dice, adds the corresponding attacking value for infantry or light vehicle, armored vehicle, and compares the result to the defending value, the corresponding defending value. And you can add or subtract modifier or the results of cards that can be played during the combat. So in this case, let's see if the American machine gun can shoot at the German. They have +3, and the German has 4 defense +2 because it's in the woods, 6. So the defense is 6 and the bonus, the attack bonus is 3. I roll a die. 3 plus 3, it equals the defense. If your roll is more or equal than the defense, the defender take 1 damage step. So this one is turned. Sorry. If it has only 1 damage step left, it is destroyed. So it's very easy and simple. You roll the die, you apply bonuses, maluses, and you compare to the modified defense according to the circumstances or the cards played. And if your total is equal or more, the defender takes 1 damage step. So now we have seen almost everything in the system. The order tiles, movement, assault, fire. All the rest is variations on the system or fine-tuning of different things like the grenades or artillery or airstrikes. So you have a fair vision of everything that's in the box. One last thing I have to explain is the way the damage are handled with the armored vehicles. If a tank is hit, it doesn't have a damage step like the other kind of units. You roll a die, and for instance a 5, and you use one of the different tokens showing the specific kind of damage location and effect the vehicle has. So this one 5, you can see that it's the turret which is damaged, and the red line shows main weapon, and X everywhere means that the gun doesn't work any longer. The other results are in increasing order. 1, the crew is hit, so either you fire the main weapon or the secondary weapon. 2, the tracks, the tanks can't move any longer, the X and the blue arrow. 3, 4, the hull, and the tank takes 2 suppress token, showing it has now a -4 malus when attacking. 5, we've done that, and 6 is a direct hit, and it destroys directly the tank. So you turn it on its wreck side. If you take another damage on a location that was previously hit, it also destroys the tank right at the moment. So this way of handling damage for the heavy vehicles show how tough they are, and it's very hard to score multiple hits to damage them and then destroy them. So it's very difficult to get rid of them unless you take a lot of effort to do it. So we've done everything.
Okay, now you have a better idea of the game and how it plays out and how the different subsystem work. The rule framework is quite simple. You have three phases. The first, you choose your order tiles for to select the unit that will fight, either by shooting or by moving and coming to getting into close combat. The second phase is the actual combat itself, resolution, and the third phase is the movement of the unit that didn't move, didn't attack, and the fact that you get back 4 cards in your hand to continue the game. See, this is the third and supply phase. So the rules are very simple. What I like in the game is that it's quite simple. The difficulty level is just after Memoir 44. The theme is the same, and the feeling is different because you have a lot of chaos because of the cards, and this is the same kind of chaos than Combat Commander. Because of the cards. In Combat Commander, you use the cards for a lot of things, but a lot of people don't like the chaos of Combat Commander because the only quantity of chaos or uncertainty that they like in a game are the dice and in the combat, but they don't like to have surprises beyond combat. And the cards offer the possibility to have take that moment that some people don't like. So this is the same for Heroes of Normandie. You have cards that are very very hard to swallow. You can blow mines into the officers and making them lose the stars and the order tiles if the official dies. So it's and then you have no ability to fight back because with no tiles, no order tiles, you can't fight anymore. So there are a lot of dirty tricks that you can pull on your opponent with the cards. And this is very fun and very engaging. You have the temptation. You need to discard the useless cards to draw more cards and make more movement and special abilities. It's very fun and very very good to interact in this way with your opponent beyond the movement and the fire, the attacks. So it's very good at that level. If you like that kind of gameplay, because it's not everyone's cup of tea. The graphic design is marvelous. Jan and Clem, the designers, are themselves graphic designers, and it shows. You have a lot of pictograms on all the counters that make the special abilities very easy to understand and to identify. If you've ever seen the counters of ASL or some complicated games, you can see that you have red characters, superscript, boxed, underlined, and so on and so forth. And you are, if you don't play often, you don't remember what it all means. In the case of Heroes of Normandie, it's very simple. You just read the pictograms, and they are very intuitive, and you don't have to reach out for the rule book or some kind of reference sheet. So it's very easy to play and to teach. The combat is very simple, no CRT, just throw a dice and compare with the basic arithmetics. So it's very easy. The ability to create your own scenarios and build your own armies is very nice. And with the future of the game, all the scenario packs that are coming after the Kickstarter and the Achtung Tulu special box and everything. You will have a massive amount of units to choose from, and you can make very important scenarios. The first scenarios are very basic, so they can give the false impression that the game isn't very complicated, and playing the German and the American is very similar because the stats of the basic units are the same. But when you add tanks which are different, then you can see that the gameplay is different for both camps, and then the game begins to take a life of its own. So that's it. That's all the major points I wanted to underscore for this game. I hope you enjoyed the review and the way I speak in English, and I think I hope that the review was interesting for you, that you can make a better choice if you want to buy this game. It should be available before Christmas, I guess, for the basic box, for the base set. So it could be a Christmas gift if this is the kind of game you like. And so now you have everything to make your own mind on Heroes of Normandy. Bye bye.